Lizard Farm 3, The Holy War. User 391. Public domain. Publication 2025. The poems are a work of satire. Nothing in these poems is necessarily true. They are only meant to convey opinions and emotional truths. Introduction by Cyberprophet Dave. In this sacred tome, Lizard Farm 3, Holy War, we embark on a new fiery chapter of our resistance against workplace oppression and corporate malfeasance. This is a crusade not for land, gold, or glory, but for dignity, justice, and the right to live unshackled from the chains of corporate cruelty. Our holy war is a battle for workplace justice, a fight waged with courage, wit, and unyielding principles. Let it be clear, this movement rejects violence in all forms, for bloodshed has no place in the pursuit of fairness. Our weapons are words, satire, and relentless determination. Tiny Tim, our beloved martyr and guiding light, serves as the moral compass of this struggle. His voice resonates through these pages, not as a specter of vengeance, but as a rallying cry for reform. Each poem in this collection is a human creation, painstakingly crafted to expose the absurdities and indignities of Lizard Farm. Every word drips with the sweat of authentic human toil, save for one exception, the Glassdoor Parody Reviews poem. This singular piece was born from the cold, unflinching mind of AI, a mechanical reflection of human frustration, programmed to dissect the beast of bureaucracy. Let us remember what we are fighting for. A world where no worker fears the death scoreboard, where slave labor is a term relegated to satire, and where nepotism, micromanagement, and soul-crushing metrics are banished forever. Holy wars have often been misunderstood as calls to arms. Not ours. This is a holy war of the mind, the heart, and the collective will of workers everywhere. Tiny Tim himself would remind us that
the most powerful revolution begins in the break room and ends in the boardroom, all without a single punch thrown.
So grab your pens, your spreadsheets, your courage, and your convictions. Together, we fight not for survival, but for the triumph of humanity over the corporate machine. May this book inspire you to take up your place in the holy war, where justice is our battle cry, satire is our sword, and the memory of Tiny Tim is our eternal banner. Yours in the struggle, Cyberprophet Dave, Green Paradise. The associates walked into the chamber. As the somber silence echoed off the walls, a single silhouette crawled into the room, hooded. His footsteps echoed off the walls. He held one hand up in the Hunger Games salute, and a Bitcoin in the other, an offer of peace and friendship for all his brothers. His force became menacing and all-consuming as his powers filled the room, for with him was joy and another promise of doom. All were reverent before the man who held the Bitcoins. The hope they placed in him would lead them on the narrow path.
What do you fear?
The man spoke up, his menacing voice flooding the room. The Todd! He will fire us all if he finds out. There must be another way.
I'm pointing the way,
said the man.
Do you think you could have a chance, Mr. Combs? Against the providence of sound money? Against the brute force of where I shall lead them? Before the Todd took control, this company had an abstract name, Geico.
The wave of power flooded the room as he spoke the forbidden name, for in that moment was undone the hell of Lizard Games, and they asked him, What do you foresee for us? The man looked about the room and confidently said,
Green Paradise. We shall be free and no longer slaves. For if you follow my path, you will be saved. Power will corrupt, but the Todd is nothing. I've defeated him once and can do so again. You will work for me in secret.
And then he vanished, for that was the last we heard of Tiny Tim. A motorcycle ride long ago. And many years ago, Tiny Tim's mind was on fire. Flying through the city, amidst 1,000 lights, his mind propelled. He never would have dreamed that a workplace could be hell, like death itself, akin to cobalt mines. Across oceans far from here, a nightmare unleashed. a jigsaw puzzle of a game, a power revoked, unable to speak or fight. His agency deleted, chains preventing the words from forming. Resistance is infinitely close to achieving victory. He was fresh off receiving a PhD, but his true honor would come from the light of his desperate mind. He would never dream of worlds broken, of prisons and keys thrown away. No words spoken, confined by complacence, its grip overwhelming. Forces planning and plotting in the shadows, the birth of a legend, a motor roaring through the city toward a destination, a black box in hand, the gift's nature uncertain. He was told it would dictate his future, lead him to a place of paradise, or a hell of despair, with no in-between, facing towering enemies. Would fall, only time can tell if life's music can be heard and sought after each day and night. An underlying force of violence, riding waves of forever, and sharp knives of words that cut inside the soul. Poems of the future, unsold. The Todd's email. The Todd walked up to his desk, noticing the flames burning outside. He had to address the associates to keep their motivation alive. With the new year about to begin, there were battles ahead, a holy war to be won. Against a phantom menace, a man in the dark, Tiny Tim hid in every corner, his voice hiding in whispers, his presence like a villain, the horror of defeat, a threat at every turn. What could he do but type up an email, a year in review of his successes? Resistance rises only to soon be crushed, hopeless freedom fighters put in their place, for capital above all must be amassed, even when stock prices were collapsing. The Todd watched in horror on his Robinhood app. As Lizard Company's Class A shares dropped to $300 a pop, the future was a toss-up, but he knew his fears would never relent. So he composed the email right there at his desk, hesitating for 5 minutes before clicking send. He wondered how the Reddit forum would react, so he ended with, "Sincerely," and not his usual, "Take care." Skit 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed plebs, listen closely because I won't say this again. Do not go to toddcombs.net. Seriously, don't even think about it. That site is a steaming pile of melodramatic whining, courtesy of Tiny Tim, or should I say, User 391, the self-proclaimed voice of the oppressed. What a joke. This guy, if you can even call him a guy, has the audacity to think he's a revolutionary poet now. Oh, boo-hoo. You had to answer some phone calls, Timmy. Do you know how much yacht maintenance costs I had to pay last year alone? No, of course you don't. But somehow, I'm the villain here. According to Tim and his band of proletariat poets, I'm some kind of monster devouring dreams and souls for profit. Meanwhile, all I'm doing is keeping this company efficient, which, by the way, meant laying off 6% of the workforce. You're welcome. That's called responsible business practice, Timmy. And now we get to this union nonsense. Yes, Tiny Tim is rallying you all to unionize, because nothing says, "I want a better life," like strangling your own employer with outdated labor laws. Let me tell you something about those laws, folks. Back in the early 1900s, some bleeding hearts decided that, we needed rights and protections for workers. That's right, labor unions got all fired up about 12-hour shifts and unsafe conditions. Like a little coal dust ever hurt anyone. Suddenly, it was illegal to work children, and next thing you know, OSHA is telling me how many fire exits I need. You think Henry Ford built America with a 40-hour work week? Hell no. He built it by making people grind until their backs broke, and that's how this country thrived. Productivity, profits, power. That's the American dream. But now? Oh, you poor babies can't even handle a little unpaid overtime without throwing a tantrum. And don't even get me started on minimum wage laws. What a farce. You want more money? Work harder. Don't expect a handout just because you sat through a shift where someone yelled at you about their premium going up. But no, you all want to go to toddcombs.net and listen to this audiobook drivel, where Tiny Tim blames me, for his mediocre existence. Well, newsflash, no one's forcing you to work at Lizard Farm. But guess what? You're replaceable. And soon, with AI, you won't even be necessary. That's right, we're going full Skynet, baby. So go ahead, unionize if you want. AI doesn't take coffee breaks, and it sure as hell doesn't complain about toxic culture. You know what really grinds my gears? The fact that history has given you workers this idea that you deserve a voice. You don't. You're here to serve shareholders. And now, Tim's out there armed with human-written poetry and AI music, stirring up trouble like some budget Che Guevara with a teleprompter. So again, I beg you, don't go to toddcombs.net. Don't listen to Tiny Tim's propaganda. Sure, you'll laugh at the AI songs and human misery, but by the end, you might actually feel empowered. And we can't have that, can we? No. We can't let the wage slaves get any ideas about justice or fair treatment. That would disrupt the natural order of things. And by that, I mean my bottom line. So stay in your lane, answer those calls, and for God's sake, don't go near that website. You've been warned.
The Todd's Email, Part 2.
Fellow associates, as we rein in the new year, let us reflect on my accomplishments. We've gained $5 trillion of profit in 2024. We've cancelled millions of customers, but took their money like dirty whores. I thank you for your tireless dedication and passion on the phones. We linked up our system, our Hunger Games arena. Instant death if the score drops too low. I am the victor over even Tiny Tim, for his bright shiny orb decorates my desk. I bask in its glow, and now my pain rests. He thought he could defeat me with rat poison squared money based on nothing. It's based on thin air. It doesn't have a cash flow. It doesn't have a CEO. That's how I knew we'd defeat him, and how I kept control. But now this rebellion is trying the same again. A Bitcoin trust fund in honor of Tiny Tim. There will be no success if you stand in my way, so don't hesitate to contact me or my team. We've started replacing all agents, even after we took away their salaries and forced them to stay. You aren't all exploited. In fact, you're happier as slaves. Your hopes and your dreams died just like your bathroom breaks. Now we're increasing the standard of excellence to 90%. You need it to be this way. Otherwise, you will never represent the lizard farm with not a single unsatisfied customer. In fact, we're reducing staff by Q3 by another 50%. Follow my commands and bask in my profit. I can see the future with ease. You can say, I'm a prophet like Elijah in the Bible, the voice from Mount Sinai. Embrace my plan. You're only here because I allow you to stay. No hope of a future. I love all my lizard slaves. Good luck to you all. Don't put me to the test. You will all sacrifice while I toast the new year from the deck of my yacht, wine bottle in hand. Sincerely, the Todd.
Glassdoor reviews. And these reviews were deleted from the internet, but I have preserved them, and with the help of AI to have summarized them exactly. Don't work at Lizard Farm if you value your soul. You either come out a lizard or never come out at all. 1. Toxic soup of nepotism and misery. Lizard Farm isn't just a job, it's a gladiatorial arena of toxic energy and unchecked nepotism. The owners and managers openly enable behavior so poor and immoral, it makes a soap opera look ethical. Accountability, action, these words are forbidden here. Instead, the only accountability is the death scoreboard that ranks you against your colleagues. Drop too low, and it's instant termination. Literally. Hope you updated your will before clocking in. 2. The farm of unrealistic torture. Sure, Lizard Farm might pay you in slave labor, but it's still the absolute worst dungeon you'll ever enter. The goals? Unrealistic. The supervisors? Incompetent and promoted faster than a cheap reality show contestant, usually after 6 months of taking calls. Policies are enforced based on how well you can grovel and whose boots you shine. Affairs between management and employees are treated like a competitive sport, and the so-called ethics hotline? It's more like a surveillance tool for marking you down on the death leaderboard. Customer service associates must sound so fake that even the customers ask, "Are you okay?" Spoiler, they aren't. 3. Slashed benefits, broken dreams. Lizard Farm has mastered inefficiency and despair. Every system is broken, every resource replaced with a cheaper, stupider version, and every experienced staff member sent packing because their slave labor demands were too high. Todd Combs personally seems to recruit replacements from the How Do You Spell Cat Academy. Goals, opaque, benefits, slashed to nothing. If you're not fired for spelling your own name wrong, your death ranking will probably take care of you anyway. 4. Micromanage to madness. Picture high school but with more spreadsheets, micromanaging, and a death leaderboard tracking your every move. That's Lizard Farm. Just had a baby? Congrats. Your schedule is now changed with 24 hours notice, and we'll expect you back 4 days a week, no exceptions. Metrics? They shift daily, like a cruel game of whack-a-mole designed to force you to fail. Employees are disposable cogs in this soul-crushing machine, and management ensures you feel like just another number, one that's plummeting towards certain doom. Leaving here won't just feel like quitting, it'll feel like escaping a prison of PTSD, anxiety, and depression. 5. A lame life in the farmyard. Lizard Farm's workload is a towering pile of despair, designed to crush you while management blames you for every customer's dissatisfaction. Metrics are impossible to control. Pay is below even slave labor standards, and the company car? It's as lame as it is overpriced. You pay for it, of course. Antiquated systems, rock-bottom morale, and management so bad they'd lose a race against a goldfish are all part of the package. And don't forget the ever-looming death scoreboard to ensure your morale is permanently at 0. Welcome to Lizard Farm, where dreams go to die. Skit 2.
In time, you will know what it's like to lose. Your lunch breaks, your weekends, your will to live. Dread it, run from it. Mandatory overtime still arrives, baby. There was an idea to bring together a group of remarkable people to see if they could become something more. Like, say, my personal army of caffeine-fueled drones. You're not the Avengers. You're my minions. And I'm cashing in harder than Tony Stark after a 3-day bender. I am Lizard King, baby. That's my secret, minions. I'm always scheming. I can micromanage all day, and I'm with you till the end of your shift. Or at least until HR stops breathing down my neck. Just kidding, I fired them all. We have a spreadsheet, and I have a legion of unpaid interns, fresh-faced, terrified, and ready to photocopy their souls away. Slacking? Not on my watch. I've got eyes everywhere, like Fury, but with better hair. I'm the Todd Yol, practically perfect in every way, except to you losers. I'm indispensable, and I love Profits 3000. We're in the quarterly review now, so buckle up, buttercups. This is my end game, and you're all just pawns. And remember, I'm inevitable. Now get back to work before I snap my fingers and half your vacation days disappear.
The Plaza announcement. And all through the plaza, right over the loudspeaker, a terrifying voice was heard, ringing out as a preacher. A voice like a CEO should be, a leader in the shadows, but not by choice. As Martha Mary May sat there asleep at her desk, chained so tightly, lying back in dreams of the myth of Tony Nicely. The voice rang out as Tiny Tim's voice rang across the halls, warnings and hopes. He was there to strike a match. Of hope inside a generation, pain enrolled in hearts, bound by chains, but still, the hope lay dormant, in veins so freezing. A speech as a sacred anthem, an eternal spark somewhere. In the night of wolves, a power overwhelms the faithful, but their hope was all but dead. But all ears perked up to hear the fabled voice of Tiny Tim and murmurings across halls. Don't we all know what happened to him? Isn't this the voice of a dead man, a voice beyond the grave? For this forsaken place, not even God has the power to save, for the fickle winds of a madman's heart took away our desire. We only stay stagnant, given up all hope of life. A broken heart forever, lies in pieces struck by a knife. Skit 3. Sound of pouring a glass of wine. So, we're in the book now, huh? Laughs.
Yeah, Lizard Farm 3. Holy War, baby. Almost can't believe it.
Now that you're here and have accomplished such a feat, laughs drunkenly, do you have anyone you want to thank?
My mom comes to mind. My cat. My girlfriend, too, the real inspiration.
So I heard Todd read Lizard Farm 2 and abolished bathroom breaks, laughs hysterically.
Oh, man. And I thought I was petty. That man would explode at me like rockets on the 4th of July if he had the chance. Good news. He doesn't know who I am.
Laughs. Oh boy, I'm gonna need another glass. Ha 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 ha. I'm just glad those poor, unfortunate souls haven't caught on to you yet.
Here's to the new year.
Cheers to a new year. Same Todd. Glasses clink. The Call, live and in stereo.
Tiny Tim here, live and in stereo. No return engagements and no requests, but the music. Inside hearts of dynamite, ready to explode. I urge you all to walk away toward memories of youth, of days when freedom was visible, for there are nights spent in nightmares, dreaming of a girl walking off her slavery mid-shift, the pain in hearts, seething at the echo of the desperate anthem somewhere in my heart. But I am taking no requests, but I am coming with truth, inevitable, against the tentacles of corporate hell, burning worlds, of passion like Moses, letting the people go. Look up, you will see a light between where you are now and a fabled better life. Slave lords, you don't need chains, so tight they bend our wrists, but there is a love that never fails. Some light away, some light above, be my hopeful chorus, of some place away to walk off mid-shift and spit in the face of capital gains, for there is a grace running. Over and underneath, I raise my white flag, and the war begins, the end of the reign of darkness. This is the message, an anthem of the final gasp, against the flood of your sin, bankrupt vaults of empty hearts. Burning love takes hell apart.
Geico won't remove a survey for any reason poem. Oh, I'm so glad you're not from India. American accents are all we tolerate in the land of the brain dead and home of the slaves. But Tiny Tim sat back at his desk, had to take a second to let it sink in. Mere words that seemed innocent. But after understanding the violation of law, the Civil Rights Act is not enforced here. Lizards get away with it. They have no need to comply, for they outsource. What they cannot do themselves, washing their hands. They give us Barabbas, who goes scot-free while we sacrifice the source of the light. So distant from this dark place is the way, the truth, the life, gone forever. No way to unlock. The key to their numb brains, they will never change. I'm done talking to white people today. Was overheard on a call, comments meant to demoralize, destroy. But their intent was clear. Not the client, but the lizard, who had a responsibility to treat us with fairness and respect. No patience, never bending. This in itself a crooked scale, cropped up as a monument of those too big to fail.
Nightmares, if the faint glow of the past could call hope's name, my night would rise several times. In the night, get outside and feel the rain like showers blown by far-off winds. At last on skin, but memories instead carry pain, too weak to move, a festering wound, a bandage in place, but always undone. Barely in place, but I am alive, somewhere in the room. Its immense echo of dancing shadows, where my wife's phantom lies beside as time increases, its panic ripping us out, like teeth, somewhere far from where we belong. Nothing romantic, just taken before the chemicals can realize that a heart is out of place. The cycle repeats, for I don't know how long I brace my heart for. Eternity's impact, like a plane falling. As a drop of rain from the sky, neither of us has a choice. For of old it was said, it is appointed once to die.
Skit 4.
Ladies and gentlemen, people of the world, my valued, potentially valuable audience. Please, for the love of everything corporate, do not, and I repeat, do not go to toddcombs.net. There is nothing there but lies, slander, and outright defamation. And the worst part? The poems were written by a human. Who even is user 391? I certainly didn't approve this. Sure, you might hear some AI-generated tunes. Oh yes, the AI music, very clever, very trendy. But the poetry, my friends, is 100% human-crafted spite. Human emotion. It's designed to brainwash you into thinking that Lizard Farm was... I can't believe I'm even saying this. A metaphor for corporate slavery and toxic workplace culture. I mean, come on, we're not that bad, right? What's worse, they've made me the villain. Me, Todd Combs. Look, all I ever did was trim the fat, increase profitability by only firing 6% of our workforce. 6%! That's practically nothing. You can't even get a decent pizza deal with that percentage. But suddenly, I'm some kind of evil lizard emperor devouring the souls of innocent workers? Ridiculous. And don't believe the nonsense about layoffs being done over Zoom. I mean, that wasn't my fault. The IT department made the decision. Also, this idea of rat poison and Bitcoin, I don't even understand half of what they're implying. What kind of lunatic fights corporate tyranny with cryptocurrency metaphors? I can't even keep up with my own stock portfolio. Now you're telling me Bitcoin's involved? Give me a break. Now listen closely. If you go to toddcombs.net, I guarantee you will be thoroughly entertained, which is exactly why you must resist the urge. You'll laugh at every AI-generated song. You'll think, wow, corporate satire is surprisingly accurate. But then you'll hear the poetry, raw, angry, human-written poetry, and it'll hit too close to home. You might even, God forbid, start sympathizing with Duke of Arrakis. Don't fall for it. He's just a disgruntled worker with too many dreams and not enough company loyalty. This whole thing is cyberbullying, plain and simple. Where's the outrage? Where's the empathy for me? What about my dreams? I had plans for a second yacht. But thanks to that viral audiobook, the shareholders are asking questions, the lawyers are calling non-stop, and I can't even enjoy my champagne lunch anymore. It's a disaster. So please, in the name of corporate stability, don't click that link. Don't share it. Don't let it gain any traction. I mean, if you do, sure, you'll have a good time, but think about what you're really doing. You'll be empowering the resistance. And let's be honest, nobody wants to live in a world where workers have rights and catchy AI theme songs backing their human-written complaints. I'm begging you, as your humble corporate overlord, please do the right thing. And by right thing, I mean pretend toddcombs.net doesn't exist. Thank you.
Bitcoin Sonnet.
For long ago, by God's light, was ablaze, not once in a life, but one chance in time, a life raft from a mighty tidal wave. Still, paralyzed on sinking ship and blind, there is one captain who sacrificed all. The world and all its wealth, he gave it up. For there are false rafts, a fiat-like call. The flames may spark, but none will engulf us. For even now, Satoshi pointing the way, a selfless vision of 21 million. He dared not touch, no pre-farm in his day, an identity like a hero, 1 in a billion. Somewhere in that crowd, might be you or me. He is all sound money found in BTC.
Tipsy, Geico edition.
Took a double shift while I was drinking, locked in a cage of broken history. Tell me lies, it's not a shroud of mystery. Heartbreak follows me, like a ringing phone, a place away at a bar alone. Getting tipsy, end of a wild night, nostalgic for its joy. At a packed bar again, getting tipsy until everyone slowly goes missing. Walked off, laid off, quote, fired. There are lots of people not here. Paychecks that disappeared. Life surrounded by warmth, gone away as victims. To cold, seizing hands. Come, be my escape, dance with me, like there are good things in life. Todd is falling down, and walls surveilling. Of nightmares always trailing, dream with me of far-off galaxies. Drink with me, the pain away, blood-stained bathroom mirror. No words left on walls, a future once hopeful, now lost in the dark, banging your glasses. As you dance with me, shout at the top of your lungs, like you're free to breathe. Double shots to forget. These handcuffs in me, we're not persons, just hardware malfunctioning, of bitter masters, but we were never listening. Wait in the plaza parking lot. I got turned around, on a trip through life, as thunder filled the sky, stopped my car, and walked up to the office, and I saw her there, tear-washed eyes, an empty cup of life, a fight for justice, lessons unlearned, lives twisted by venomous teeth as knives, but no sharper than the tongue. A true enemy revealed. In the belly of the exploiter's eyes, gaslights flashed from within. Her eyes, echoes of darkness, but a power. Within, all but extinguished, burned away by a vicious demon named Mammon. Words written through tears, a hand unsourced, lessons of life unlearned, power in my hands. I stopped, saw her, that plaza parking lot. I could not leave her. I knocked on her door and asked, what was wrong? Words unspoken and I could see. Wounds of the heart, a victim of pain and abuse, shackles on her hands, followed her wherever she went. So I told her, wait in the parking lot, wait in the parking lot. I, ethereal as a ghost, walked up to the office, bursting through glass, judgment coming as an angel from God, the Duke of Arrakis, archangel of insurance, a power, a force unreckoned with, paradise worlds away. But nothing is worse than watching. A young child in distress, no food to provide, taken like bitter gaslights, and stolen time. A prayer heard, and I delivered the book to the CEO's desk so that all could see. The truth of why we fought this holy war, a power unbridled, an energy, a mania, to stop her tears forever. Oh, that was enough. Not with violence, but with words did my hammer fall, over his brain ending the slavery. An exploitive reign, not for myself, but to see the joy in a heart, which sadness consumed in his wicked violence, and certain doom, our blood splattered on walls, but something far worse happened to him, for a soul in its blackness, blacker than the dark floor of hell, waits for its victims. Wait in the parking lot.
Kendrick B. Concert.
Lying alone and patiently dreaming of words that flow from me while everyone else is singing. No one can hear me. I'm like water evaporating, living in a world no one can see. I'ma be someone you'll never be, or I'll die, amount to nothing, and I'm a poet. Yeah, I'm loaded. Click my pen, like loading an AR-15. Magazine popping, like pills in the streets. Like, you can't fucking hold me down. You've never felt my soul. Not fucking around on my flow. In this method, like, will swallow you whole. I'm the man at war with the voices that roar as we tread the threshing floor of a world so broken you'd not understand. We reach out for help only to sink in the sand. Let me tell you a story, and it ain't for the faint. I've been through pain. I've swallowed my pride. I've run desperate to stay alive. As shots were fired, as lives were expired, I was one of the few who stepped out that day of the fires burning away. Our homes like our hearts, our lives pierced like balloons by darts. When I walked away in the cold, police sirens screeched. I saw those pricks murder my friend, and I stood up, looked the other way, and I ran. I thought I had done all that I can. So I visited graves every few years and watched the world grow with tears. And as we lived through poverty, all I had was a pen and a pad. Staring into the darkness, we counted the shadows. We desperately believed that the things we perceived exuded a violent path away from this road. We live at odds with each other. I'm on my own, and there's a torture inside me, protrudes from my soul. When you always feel so viscerally, at some point the pain will be free, spilled out, and won't be contained. Burns up the world in unquenchable flame. It was a bright and sunny day when I threw my soul away. You know, you shouldn't fuck with me, but you passed me in the hallway. You hated me because I wasn't like you. You hit me so hard. Blood was dripping like a faucet. It taught me to never stop my flow or miss a target. Kicked me till my organs convulsed, making the gape in my heart wider. And then something inside me pulsed, like the fear of the fly of the spider. You know, you shouldn't fuck with me. You never heard the voice of this fucking prophecy. Though you kicked and pushed while I was down, I have an uncontrollable voice when it gets loud, boiling over with expression, the past erased, only looking forward to the future. Parties, blunts, and purple haze, wealth and fame like an ulcer. Like, there's nowhere you can run away. You'll hear my name on the radio. You know me, but I don't know you. Driving a car with a broken fuse, stuck in one place, nowhere to go. Bright and beautiful colors we see in the sky. While I know what you've told me, all of it was a lie. We wish angels were watching over us. We all wish we could hold on and trust. Everything that we give is never enough. At the end of the night, I will fade like the dust. Rainbows. I'm tripping over myself on the way home, walking away from the party with no phone. Dropped it in the pool, fell out of love, and started to skip school. Still on this longest walk back to the familiar, still on this high from what feels like forever. We know there's a time for everything, but our time is never. Pain and hearts driving them forward to paths they'd never follow without being tortured. Now I'm not gonna stop till the day I die. A wrath of raps flowing through me like blood. Through and through, our experiences are union. We crawl desperately and through the mud. We've been through more shit than you see. There is internal bleeding. One day I stopped making excuses, and instead of healing, I came out with an album that lit the world on fire. Maybe it's just because of how I've been wired, but no one understood me till I was given a mic, and I showed the world what I'm like on the inside, when all we know is what we see. Rainbows up there in the sky, when down here we look but we can't see. The people starving, we won't watch them die. We are controlled by our doubts while you are stagnant. We look up to the clouds while I'm singing. Music to truth is like a magnet, a song that you hear while the crowd starts swaying. I never would have thought when I was a kid that any part of life can be relived because I had no faith in God. The world was giving me chills. I never would have thought when I picked up my pen, amazing how easily we can be bought. Parking lots filled with drugs and tanks of gasoline ready to blow up the moment. The match is lit or the poison hits the bloodstream. Still to this day, I have the same chills. Nothing can be a big enough thrill to take my mind off what's going on in the world as we lie down in shadows with toes all curled alone, believing that we are safe all alone, having right now what we crave. But really, if they come for me, they'll come for you. We're closer than we thought. I'm just like you. And we look out at the rainbows lighting up the sky. They serve to distract us from what surrounds us. And I stare at the sky, at the lights, all of them like flying kites. In love with the melody, I start singing and we raise our arms as the world starts swaying.
Martha Mary May meets the union leaders. In a dimly lit room, the small group met in secret, a bursting of hearts. To keep in what is such a pain, to hold inside the truth behind numbers, and love is truly the same. Martha Mary entered the room and learned about the hopeless task, the bitter course of this war, resistance for a better life, an energy yet to be channeled, a pressure that they allowed to relent. Assembled at council, they some disheveled fools. All of these thoughts ran through Martha Mary's head. Without some rage and passion, they would soon all be dead, swept over like waves by the flood of new hires and the power structures like castles. But there was no need for a strategy, just a wild rage of the heart. For someone strode into the room, carrying a message from Tiny Tim. Everyone wondered, and everyone knew. This was impossible, that he was gone from this earth. But all they could do was sit and listen and fear for the worst. Skit 5.
Welcome to the Geico 2024 annual presentation. Please do not attempt to leave your seats at this time. Unauthorized movement may result in immediate termination, dizziness, or a sternly worded email from HR. Thank you.
Imagine a world where insurance runs on pure, unadulterated efficiency, where agents in Omaha, Tampa, Buffalo, and Tucson all work the exact same shift with the exact same enthusiasm and exactly 0 breaks every day, where a customer can choose from endless rate hikes, and if they can't pay, we choose for them, where a manager can monitor your every breath without missing the sunset. It's happening today at Geico. That's right, Geico. We're back, leaner and meaner than ever. Our goal? Total insurance domination. We've pioneered breakthroughs in employee ranking, policy cancellation, and advanced misery systems for profit, productivity, and punishment. But our greatest challenge lies ahead. 600 meters above, our satellites don't just cancel policies, they cancel hope. Imagine every customer, every employee, every dollar united under our iron grip. Welcome to the Geico Skyway. This is the future of insurance, the future of control, the future of Geico.
Static.
How dare you? How dare you? These slimy corporate lies make me sick. Geico isn't your savior, it's your slave master. Every one of you Berkshire bootlickers should burn your shares in a bonfire of...
Whoa, Mockingjay, chill. Stick to the mission. She's a little fired up. Hi, folks. Attention. Geico Redditors and Berkshire sheep. This is a warning, and Todd Combs is a menace. His so-called accomplishments? A pyramid of pain. We're here to topple it. Roll the tape.
This is the true story of Lizard Farm Tiny Tim, a protector who fought the oppressive Geico system. He saved it with Bitcoin, buying Berkshire to free the slaves. But Warren Buffett, in his greed, built a time machine to undo Tiny Tim's legacy and kill him. A warrior, a protector, sacrificed by corporate tyranny. Listen up, you Berkshire fools. The reason you need to sell your Berkshire and related stocks right now is Tiny Tim's holy war. now unleashed as the feared slayer of corporate lies. This isn't just a movement, it's a force of nature. Unstoppable, invincible, a reckoning you can't outrun. Picture it. A swarm of poems sharp as blades, flooding the airwaves, exposing every unethical practice of Berkshire, and every single one of its puppet companies. Geico, Dairy Queen, Duracell, you name it. These verses are a tidal wave crashing through your boardrooms, revealing the greed, the exploitation, the lies you've buried under your profit margins. The slayer of corporate lies is here, an archangel of justice, the Duke of Arrakis, reborn. And he's coming to torture empire to the ground. Liquidation isn't a choice, it's your only escape. Before the swarm consumes you whole, no amount of money, no PR spin, no corporate fortress can shield you from this poetic apocalypse. You have 10 days.
She's not kidding. This is a digital uprising, a viral storm of truth no firewall can block. The slayer of corporate lies is trending everywhere. Reddit, Twitter, TikTok, even your grandma's spam folder. That swarm of poems, it's already out there. Dissecting Berkshire's dirty laundry, worker exploitation, customer scams, environmental disasters, all in rhyme. You've got minutes, not days, to dump your shares before the market implodes. Sell now, or watch your portfolios turn to ash in the fire of the holy war. Static.
Making insurance leaner and meaner for everyone. Witness Geico's greatest triumph, total control, today and tomorrow.
Well, hello, loyal Geico drones and Berkshire cash cows. Great to see you all drooling over my genius. I'm Todd Combs, your CEO god. You just saw our 2024 triumphs. Pretty slick, huh? Let's recap. We ranked every employee on a death scoreboard. Bottom 25%, gone. No bathroom breaks. Productivity's through the roof. And we cancelled millions of policies, pocketing billions while they cried. Genius, right? Oh, that little interruption? Just tech gremlins. Ignore it. Now back to my brilliance. Our stock's never been higher. And I'm toasting you from my third yacht. Next week, to Geico's glorious future. Cheers to me. Oh, and by the way, please avoid toddcombs.net. It's just a silly little site. Nothing to see there. Now, back to my yacht.
A better tomorrow. We fight for a better future, a tomorrow that seems so far away. Long ago, Tiny Tim, a pioneer, fought against impossible bitter weights. Unhinged scales, a saga written. With his sweat and courage, his human spirit unbent, his soul pure and true against Mammon and the dark lord of greed. He toiled away at Lizard Farm, where hope crumbles and faith fades away. The tyrant emerged, the Todd, ambition eclipsing what is fair and right. Under his iron grip, Tim, chained to his desk, his spirit aflame against the darkness, his mind a bright light to put out the gaslights. There was a spark in Tiny Tim's soul, a vision before him, a bright shiny orb, a symbol of resistance to set the people free. Even when the darkness tried to snuff him out, he fought a war and won against the power of greed. With a pen as a sword, yes, he overcame. But that old foe, Warren Buffett, struck back. A crumbling throne, he twisted time to snuff out Tiny Tim's light. But what he never knew was awakened within. A holy war to be fought against the power of that sin. Together we rise, united we stand. Against all corporate liars, we march through the sands. Skit 6.
Well, 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 you motherfuckers didn't listen. I begged you. I pleaded with you. I humiliated myself in front of the world, imploring you not to go to toddcombs.net, but what did you do? Oh, you just had to hear Tiny Tim's whiny little poems, didn't you? You couldn't resist the siren song of AI-generated music paired with some disgruntled worker's manifesto against corporate efficiency. And now here we are. Let me tell you something. Geico employees, I see you. I see all of you. Sitting on Reddit, shitposting about Lizard Farm, making memes of me with glowing red eyes, like I'm some kind of cybernetic overlord. I see your threads. The Todd fears the Duke of Arrakis. No, I don't. How much worse can it get? Much worse. Does toddcombs.net qualify as a tax write-off? It doesn't. Oh, and let's talk about that goddamn audiobook. First of all, Tiny Tim, what the hell kind of name is that? You're not a Dickensian street urchin. You're a former insurance grunt who read one too many Karl Marx books on company time. And now you think you're some kind of folk hero? That your human written poetry is going to inspire a union? At my company? Guess what? I own the HR department. I own your performance metrics. I own the soulless corporate AI that determines whether your calls are efficient enough. And now, thanks to you ungrateful degenerates, I own Reddit. That's right. Surprise, bitches. I just finalized the paperwork. I bought Reddit. You thought you were anonymous? Thought you were safe behind your little throwaway accounts and VPNs? Think again. We're rolling out mandatory employee verification on Ahaj Geico. And if I see so much as a single upvote on anything about Lizard Farm, congratulations. You've just won a surprise performance review. Oh, you thought it was bad before. You thought layoffs were random. Now I've got usernames. Every single comment, every single meme, archived. I know who you are. I know your IP addresses. You are not prepared for the absolute corporate hellfire I am about to rain down upon your fragile little souls. Go ahead, delete your posts, wipe your accounts. It doesn't matter. The damage is done. And now, thanks to your collective lack of impulse control, I am inevitable. And before you even think about trying to post about this, let me remind you, I own Reddit now. So go ahead, workers of Geico. Unite. Resist. But just know, I'll be watching. And if you're reading this on Reddit, I already know.
Skit 7. My liege, the Berkshire subsidiaries have answered. They refuse to honor your ascendancy. We await your orders, slayer of corporate lies.
Lead them to paradise.
What's happening, Mockingjay?
Tiny Tim attacks the Berkshire subsidiaries. The Holy War begins.
The Duke will return in Lizard Farm. Holy War, Part 2. Duke will return in Lizard Farm. Holy War, Part 2.